Yo, what's up guys? So let's go ahead and check out the new updates, the buffs, and the nerfs for the Druid. And there's actually going to be something pretty cool that emerges out of the Druid, which is a skill that no one was using before, and that is Lightning Storm. It's getting some godly buffs, like this is crazy. So let's check this out. So one of the items that we're getting is a brand new unique aspect, and I believe since it's wraps, I'm assuming that's going to be in the glove department. Anyways, let's see what it does. So it says Lightning Storm gains an additional strike each time it grows. Lightning Storm Critical Strike causes lightning to strike twice, dealing 10 to 20% increased damage. So what does this mean? Well, with your lightning skills, you can get about 70% crit. Now, if you're getting it to strike twice, getting like it to hit twice, that's double DPS right there, right? So if you have a 70% chance, we're using that as kind of a reference here, to that bonus damage, and then you get an additional 10 to 20% increased damage. So if we look at this as 40 when it strikes twice, I mean, there's nothing in this game that just gives you double DPS, and its damage wasn't like absolutely terrible before, but the main problem that I see with this, though, just as a heads up, is that it is a channeled skill. If you guys haven't played a channeled skill, that means you cannot move. A lot of people do not like these, so I'm just going to warn you guys, this might be the best Druid build, and if it is, well, you cannot move, therefore a lot of people don't like this. If you've played Diablo, you know there's going to be a bunch of explosions, things that you have to move away from, and because this has to ramp up to get the DPS to its max, just going to warn you guys as a heads up, that's kind of how the interaction works, but this is probably going to be one of the strongest skills. Now, they are giving some buffs to rabies, like there's a new aspect that can reduce its CDR, but like, it didn't seem like it was that insane anyways. At least that's how I personally feel about rabies. There's also some other bonuses where like maximum damage bonus doubled over here. Last rate got a change. Like this is the ultimate that like no one used. That's the one. It's basically if you play Diablo 3, it's like kind of like a 7-sided strike, but it's really not that great. And it can like heal you for some damage, and now it can heal for like double the amount. Like this thing is just bad. Like I'm sorry. Like I really wish this just like one-shotted everything. I mean, it's got a cooldown on it. I just think overall is no good. So I don't think changing the cooldown. Maybe if they made it had 0-second cooldown, maybe I consider it. But even then, the casting animation is so long. By the time you like have a good build, you would have already killed everything anyways. By the time this thing is still going on. So I don't know what they were thinking on that one. Next up, though, we got Prime Lacery. So they changed the functionality so it heals for more. That wasn't the problem with it. It just, its animation takes too dang long and it doesn't do enough DPS to make it like valuable. If you were able to go to Uber Duriel and push Lacerate and it one-shots and cool. But that's not exactly how it worked. And then we have Cataclysm over here. Wait, did I go over the... Okay, we'll go over that. There's a massive nerf here for one of the best Druid builds. Now, Cataclysm, they're increasing the... this is the ultimate, by the way. This is the ultimate that I actually think is one of the coolest ones, even though Petrify was the one that everyone used. So it increases the damage of Twister, basically double that, and Lightning gets a little bit of a bonus. Then with Supreme Cataclysm, extra vulnerability, like duration. Then with Pastor's Mending, additional healing, and it's like whatever. Thick Hide, okay, small little buff here, Unconstrained. So they increase the controlled impairing during effects, whatever, and an increased benefit, while over 50% of Fortify was reduced from triple to double, so it's like a nerf and a buff, whatever. Natural Fortitude, the Fortify gain on shape-shifting skills got increased from 1.4 to 2%, it's like whatever. Still, like, it's buff. Bestial Rampage, they required the shapeshift duration reduced from 2.5 to 2, and then attack speed bonus got increased over here, cool. But small things. Spirit Boon's Thorns build. I was actually double checking on like the numerical stats on Thorns. I guess on the higher end over here on Razor Plate, it can go. I think it goes up to like 25 almost, right? It's 24,950 is the exact number. So basically, can you make a Thorn Druid? I don't see it as a viable, but in fact, I don't really think anyone plays Thorns. Thorns was cool for memes for PvP, just to get clips. But at the end of the day, I think there's much better options than Thorns, because if you've ever played a Thorns build against boss, unless you're doing it for some sort of like pacifist challenge, Thorns just it really isn't a thing in Diablo 4, I would say, at the current state. Maybe they can add, what was it in Diablo 3 that Emeralds? I think it was like a topaz that you could put in to increase your thorns, and you get like increased bonus damage based on like your thorns would apply to your basic attacks or something. I think there's like one unique axe that's available in Diablo 3 that does it, but for the most part, I don't see it being viable. Maximum Spirit can increase, cool little buff, but no one really played that one. I think that's in like the second tier or something like that. And then Avian Wrath, this is good. Crit Strike now is multiplicative instead of additive. Awesome. So everyone's going to probably run that. Paragon, the Tectonic bonus, like I think this is for like Earth skills. And with Poise, they increased the barrier, got increased over here. Duration got increased. And then Wild's the Passive companion damage got bonus. This is like 50% bonus. Cool, not bad. Now this is where it becomes unfortunate. The aspect of the Blurred Beast, so it would seek out enemies. It still seeks out enemies, which is good because it's going to be used in something that I want to try out. So how it works is Shred is going to seek nearby enemies. Previously it did 70 to 100. So let's just look at the high end because this is what we're here for, min-maxing. So instead of 100, it's now 40. So it's like worse than half. The Metamorphic Stone, the boulder cost got reduced. Doesn't really matter. That wasn't the problem with it. It just doesn't do enough damage on a consistent basis compared to what was available before. Like in the previous season, at least. Like the Dolmen Stone build is just really bad. If you've ever played, that's the unique lets the boulder spin around and stuff while in Hurricane. Aspect of the unsated Spirit Generation bonus damage got increased over here, so cool. And the aspect of Retaliation damage bonus got reduced from 20 to 40 to 20 to 30. Now, there is another thing that I want to mention here, and this is what I'm excited about. So, at the end of the day, what is the new, like, meta Druid build? I mean, like, on paper, okay? I know that there could be bugs, and there could be other things that emerge, and, like, this is the most broken OP build. This just seems like it's the best build in the entire game. I'm getting double damage and increased damage that gets, because that's going to be doubled because you're hitting the same thing twice. There's nothing in the game that's going to give you the same amount of, like, DPS other than Barb got that 900% on charge, right? But that's something that you're going to need to activate, and obviously that has a cooldown where a Lightning Storm doesn't have it. I'm just going to warn you guys, even though I'm like hyping this thing up, it's not going to be a build that everyone wants to play. But there is something for basic skills, like if you play like a Crone Druid and you like playing that, I still think that it could be kind of fun to mess around with. But there's these brand new items that I think Druid can actually benefit off of because you can start scaling crazy numbers off of Crone potentially. So the Pin Gorgers, these are going to be unique gloves. So obviously, more like that means with the wraps, the Lightning Storm build, I'm not going to be able to like hybrid this. But it's damaging enemies with a non-basic skill marks them. So that means I can teleport towards the enemies potentially with, let's say, Shred, mark them, and then when a basic skill first hits a marked enemy, the basic skill's damage is equal to all marked enemies. And with the Blurred Beast over here, let's see, or well, not Blurred Beast, the Great Staff of the Crone. So if we use Crone over here, Claw is now a Storm skill and casts Storm Strike. So Storm Strike is another, it's a basic skill. Storm Strike is also a basic skill, so we can basically get to double dip in this, and it does say the first. So my question is, if it hits at the exact same time, can it proc both? But anyways, the basic skill's damage is equal to all marked enemies, dealing 100 to 200x increased damage. Now, I'm also wondering, since it marks it, does it consume the mark, or does it keep the mark on them, and then I have to reapply a non-basic? So if I just swap in between, can I keep on getting 200, go back to, a core skill, then go back to basic and hit again and again and again? This could be actually really, really good. Or does it have to be 3 seconds that are marked, and then it expires after 3 seconds, and then I can apply it again? So there's a little bit of testing that has to be done with this, but I'm just giving you guys the idea that you don't have to play that, like, standstill channel lightning skill because it's not very fun. I'm going to admit I made that build. It's probably not going to be for everyone. But nonetheless, this is cool. And then on top of that, the aspect of adaptability. So when cast below 50% maximum resource, basic skills generate 3 of your primary resource once per cast. Then while cast at above or 50% maximum resource, basic skills deal increased damage. So again, if you're just above resource, you get all this increased damage, and you can start stacking your Druid build for Claw, again with Staff Prone, to get an insane amount of damage. There's like so many multipliers for basic skills, and if we can get basic skills to get even more damage, which you can do, and because you get basically double dipping, potentially, if it hits twice, because it says the first basic skill that hits. Again, I don't know if it gets to hit twice at the same exact time or how it registers, but that's going to be something we're going to have to test out. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up. What do you guys plan to play if you plan to play the Druid? For me, I'm going to wait until someone plays. I'm not going to start Druid. Heck no. That's not going to be my league starter. I'm going to wait till someone else tests this out because I do not like playing this. Again, I know I've been overhyping it, but I'm just really stressing that the Lightning Storm is not going to be for everyone. But that's going to be more likely the build that everyone plays. It's going to be insane for DPS. But then some people are going to be like, dude, I hate how it plays. I feel it. And that's why I'm going to wait for the Claw. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell if you want to see in action, because I'm probably going to, just like last season, we're going to get every single class to level 100. But depending on the order right now, I definitely plan to play Rogue first, 100%. Anyways, catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace.